Thank you so much, sir, for joining through this video call. I'm just going to add one thing. They have read about you. You are the chairman and of executive committee and executive director on BCCL board. But I have had the privilege of knowing you now, going to be nearly 2 decades, and I'm going on record to say a big fan. Have personally worked. You've been my boss, and there's so much to learn from you. And I've seen how you have played a key role in shaping the media business and one of the largest media businesses, if not the largest media business in the country, Times of India. So it's a great honor to be talking to you. You have been for so many decades in the trenches, seeing, shaping, participating in the growth of the media story. What are some of the things that you're seeing, especially during this pandemic?
Thank you, Shraddha. First, at the outset, many thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. And I've always been inspired by the kind of energy, unbridled energy you bring to the table. It is indeed a pleasure because I know you even interviewed the Prime Minister of the country. So when it is a state where the mentor becomes a mentee.
No, sir, you inspired us well in the early days.
No, media. I've been in media for 30 years, as you rightly said, Shraddha, and you also, in a sense, in the same space. And media competes for attention.
Yeah.
The competition is for share of time or eyeball. And when I came to work, there was only what we call the terrestrial television, Doordarshan, and newspapers. I have seen the emergence of several media over the last 3 decades, be it the satellite television, the emergence of private FM channel, which I was actively associated with, right from negotiating, lobbying with the government and getting the licenses and launching the radio channels, out of home, thanks to privatization of airports. Then we obviously the digital explosion and the advent of smartphones, changes in technology. What I've seen is that each of the platforms has an intrinsic native appeal. And based on that, every platform repurposed the content quickly and managed what we call to build an aggregate audience and build loyalty for their set of offerings. And obviously, COVID has fundamentally changed a lot of things. I'm not going to talk about what are the 10 things is going to change or what are the 5 things we need to know. I will be very honest here and say that I don't know. But media's role has always been to grab share of attention. We are all doing that. And this challenge was compounded pre-COVID because in a time-poor economy. Now, what has COVID done? It has eliminated all the external travel-based distraction. It has suddenly enriched our lives with plenty of time. And we have always been craving for time. So the change in behavior is palpable because suddenly I feel that there's going to be a clamor for the significant. Yeah. Because going by the torrent of webinars, and I also seen that you also have been conducting webinars. And for example, we discussed last week and today here we are talking about it. So as economies mature, and as an economy, as we start valuing our time, we shall transcend the frivolous and seek the significant. The competition would be on ability to influence. A well-researched, curated infotainment or the most creative, engaging entertainment is then able to command disproportionate share of influence. So therefore, as we prepare for the new normal, there would be obviously a lot of caution, fear, and suspicion. They would be craving for trust, credibility, and also most importantly, people will want to know what is the source of a news or a product. Where is it manufactured? Therefore, in that environment, a credible, curated, and creative platform which assures brand safety will be the most sought after. So therefore, all media platforms, irrespective of whichever platform you are, it could be traditional, it could be new age, it could be digital, it could be anything, need to recognize this new normal. People will look up to them for directions, for opportunities, for confidence, and media therefore has the responsibility to turbocharge the economy, to once again unleash the entrepreneurship spirit with responsible journalism, not sensational, Reporting has to be well researched, positive, and fuel the economy away from fueling fear and panic. So consumers always, as you know, Shraddha, seek validation and confirmation, and this confidence would be self-fulfilling as we emerge out of lockdown and reignite our growth engine.
You represent Media House, which everyone in the country, but more so entrepreneurs in the media, entertainment, so many spaces emerging in the digital space look up to. What kind of impact are you seeing on the ground right now, and which segments are you seeing as are growing, and which are some of the segments which are slowing down?
See, in a COVID black swan, and I can quote, the focus is on survival. The focus is purely on survival. And as Jack Ma, I'm sure, has said recently, for people in business in 2020, it is just a year for staying alive. So, and I will like to, we all like to quote Hindu mythology. Hindu mythology, Lakshmi, goddess of wealth, Lakshmi is supposed to be very chanchal and not very stable, right? Because that means that for wheels of economy to move, money has to keep moving. And when money moves, wheels of economy moves, and everybody flourishes. Now, that has stopped. Money supply has stopped. Revenue has stopped. Production of money has stopped. So this means that every organization has kind of locked down their money. So this is not a slowdown. This is not a slowdown. Lockdown means that the revenues have come to near trickle, is trickling. So even the businesses which are in demand, what we call the essentials, have to supply and ensure that daily supplies. And the cost of supply today is much more than in a normal state. So yes, some businesses in the essential space are doing well, but I know most of them are still struggling. First is procurement, because supply chains are hugely disrupted. And then once they get the supply, to get orders, because it's a new normal. Yeah. Then ensure that it is supplied to your house. And as we know, we are struggling to supply our daily newspapers. Are any of us making money? Clearly the answer is no. But we are doing our daily job, and I very much doubt if any of us are making money in the current environment. But we are all doing our best to keep the wheels of the economy moving and making a semblance of resumption of the normalcy.
You define to a large extent the narrative of how media content gets consumed and shaped in India. So how important is education? Because, we had Manish Sabharwal, who is is the board member of RBI and a very renowned economist, founder of TeamLease. And he said that, he expects that education will leapfrog now. And he's seen like a tremendous growth with COVID. How are you seeing this space?
No, absolutely, Shraddha, in a sense that I mentioned, you are also in the business of education, and all these initiatives which are started is also about learning. And as people start valuing time and they start respecting it, today there's a clamor for the significant. You can either have wasted the 2 months or acquired a new skill or kind of have transformed yourself. And this is a great opportunity the current lockdown has provided. Now, coming to our group, as a media organization, every media organization, if you really ask me, is in the business of education. This has been the role of newspapers for years, to bring the most credible, curated, and authentic and relevant news from all over the world. Yes, if you are talking of formal education, yes, we have followed into Times Square, which focuses on skill and development. We have Bennett University. All these are the new need of the hour. Bennett University now has gone completely online education, obviously, given the lockdown. I am bullish on education, especially digital education. But I'm not sure whether digital education will see unprecedented growth either in India or any other part of the world. See, human beings need physical contact. And I don't know whether you read Nassim Taleb's recent quote. He says digital is useful for many things. But 2 days back he said, digital is useful for some things, but one remembers much, much better when one touches, views in 3D, and smells. So he said it's like exiting a 2D prison. Therefore, Shraddha, we need physical contact. And those conversations on physical ground and physical collaboration is what will lead to creativity and emergence of the new. Something you have to create new it has to have that bonding, it has to have that physical touch. So yes, work from home will become a new normal. Organization will clamor to save cost on infrastructure, on rentals, but there will be a balance. For every trend, there will be a counter trend. Similarly, in education space, my take is, and in my opinion, education can never be 100% online. My own daughter right now is attending all her classes online, but will it become the 100% normal? No, because we all, just like work from home and all, we will need the physical touch, feel, and space in a 3D environment for us to creativity to flourish. So there has to be a similar balance.
You know, you've been in the media business for 3 decades. You have shaped a lot of things that have happened. You know, how do you look at decision making? And I'm asking you this because there is so much of uncertainty, and all of us as entrepreneurs today, and there are so many young entrepreneurs across the country, small businesses, all of them have to make decision. How do you look at decision making? How have you looked at decision making, and also as a leader in the media business?
See, every situation, and especially a crisis which you face with, gives you a certain set of constant and a certain set of variables. Most of the time, what happens, Shraddha, is that we all get caught in the constant, constant is something which we can't change. Constant is a given. Variable is something which you can influence. So there's the constants are given. Lockdown is a constant. The revenue trickle is a constant. Money supply is a constant.
Even for Times of India, sir?
Yes, what happens is, I said, revenue slowdown is very different from the revenue disappearing. So it changes. So nobody has seen this kind of crisis.
Yeah.
So therefore, the question is survival. Yeah. Now, when you say survival, the question is, what is the endeavor? The endeavor is always that how long can the buck can last. So you want to prolong the sunset of the cash you hold. Yeah. And when you have, see, what happens is, for a large organization, the cost base is huge.
Yeah.
And especially like us, and we have so many businesses, especially a lot of new age businesses, which any case we're in the cash burn business. Now cash burn will get worsened, and because even the existing profit generating business also go into the cash burn zone. Therefore, it's monetarist and economist theory always is that monetarists always say that to control the supply of money, and the market would fix itself. So today the money supply is controlled. We have all learned to live frugally with very little, and we are so surprised. We are surprised ourselves how small our needs are as compared to our wants. Therefore, it is no secret, Shraddha, that the visibility on cash flows is the decision driver for most of us. So my current focus is to minimize cash burn. Yes, we are an essential service. People ask for our newspapers, and relentlessly 24/7, we continue to print the publication. Our production, distribution, and editorial colleagues are working in the front line. The show must go on, and each one of us doing whatever best we can do. We are mopping up, whether it's mopping up the floor or mopping up the cash. and it is time to look for the new and of course, at the same time, focus on new and unexpected opportunities as behaviors change. Lot of assumptions we thought is not possible. We never thought, our editors never thought that it's possible to produce newspaper they all thought you need a desk at office, but they are today producing from their homes, working from home. So this crisis has opened up those possibilities, and we have to make the best out of it, and then what we call establish the new normal.
This pandemic is also a very good time because we've been hearing since last couple of years about this rise of fake news, and it's become so problematic. And we've all witnessed the kind of decision making it has led to across the world. But especially during the pandemic, the government has also been very vocal about don't look at fake news, and news should be looked in a you have to sieve out and curate and look at authentic information. You partnered with Bhaskar, Dainik Bhaskar, to tackle this problem. Tell us what you're doing in this direction.
This was pre-COVID, Shraddha, and not now. Fake, as I said, in a time-poor economy, 20-second video is more popular. and WhatsApp is more popular because this is all distraction. Even in the audience, like for example, if they don't find engaging, they immediately will pick up the phone and see. So what typically happens is that is the challenge with a user generated content. Value comes from investment. Value always comes from investment. Traditional medium, especially print, has a large editorial workforce whose primary role is to gather and curate the news and check for credibility and authenticity to serve the readers, and only verified news to the readers. Now, contrast this with the frivolous and fake user generated content. Now, how do we? So, the question is some of the user generated content, especially in the COVID times, also we would have heard a lot of remedies to safeguard yourself against the COVID. Some of them are so hilarious. And same doing pre-COVID also. Then we suddenly thought, why not get my good friend whom I meet in Bombay Gym every day morning, Cyrus Barucha. And I discussed the concept with him. He was quite excited. Immediately we commissioned him. And when we spoke to Dainik Bhaskar, they were very happy to partner us. So the idea was in a humorous way to bring out the dangers of not relying on credible curated news. So that's how we started this WhatsApp-based humor. And I'm sure you would have seen some of them, some of the videos. They're absolutely hilarious, right? From saying that mango juice can cure AIDS, stuff like that. And now also, because of COVID, you have been getting so many news and so many fake news announcing of lockdown, extension of lockdowns, everything. So therefore, when you're flooded with this, it's important to create awareness around the fake and frivolous versus the true and authenticity. Yeah. That's how we started the initiative, and Dainik Bhaskar was very happy to partner, and that's how the initiative started.
Speaking on behalf of so many entrepreneurs and businesses who are out there building interesting stuff, we're seeing the emergence of TikTok in India, and new innovative different styles of content, different types of technology. There are companies coming to tech companies which are addressing fake news, sieving them out through AI and machine learning. I want to understand from you, how is BCCL looking at? Are you looking at partnering with interesting businesses, startups?
In a very interesting question, Satya. See, there are 2-3 ways of doing it. One is that whether we are a platform. Like we obviously started with the print as a platform. Then as I was mentioning to you, then we moved on to radio as a platform, then out of home, then the television channels which we started. Now we have digital. Now digital is not one business. There are several businesses in digital, right from OTT platform, which is the MX player, right to a Dynout, to a Ghana, which is a music player. There are several platforms. And the whole digital growth, Shraddha, has happened with partnering the entrepreneur. Each business models and based on what we call the consumers which it seeks to aggregate needs a certain mindset. Your story is an entrepreneurial mindset. I know how you have built your organization with complete set of all. I know the youth and energy and the exuberance each one of your team members always exhibit whenever I have met them. So therefore we have created buckets for each of the business. They are each different entities for each of them. And in the digital space, and especially in the emerging digital space, we don't claim to have all the knowledge, domain knowledge. What we claim is that we have the credibility. We are, and you know that more than 188 years old company. So therefore, we have the reach, we have the connections, relationships. So the digital business of ours is a kind of platform where entrepreneurship talent in the business which are interested, and the business which is connected with media, partner with us, and we help them grow both with capital as well as what we call the encashment of the Bennett penumbra, as I call it. The second is you are part of that business which we call the brand capital business, which is what I have built as a startup. Yeah. It's a $3 billion plus business today, and that business again allows entrepreneurs to leverage the media assets of the Times of India group to take out their story to the brand story and idea story or the services story to the rest of the world, and build customer traction, and then grow their business. So yes, partnerships are a way to grow. And he spoke about TikTok, he spoke about many businesses. Every business model is based, media, and I'm talking about the media space, is based on attracting consumer. It's all getting segmented.
Yeah.
Whatever time you have, just like whatever is at your price point, there is a product, brand, or service available.
Yeah.
Similarly, at your time point, whether you have 5 seconds, whether you have 15 seconds, whether you have 1 hour, there has to be a media offering available. It can be infotainment, can be entertainment, can be frivolous, can be a 20-second video.
Yeah.
And based on understanding of customer psyche, emergence of different need states, and the time availability of the consumers, you create offerings, and then those offerings, then you monetize it either through subscription in some cases. And India is not a great market for monetizing subscription, and or through advertisement.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that one versus other. Some work, some not necessarily, may not work.
Yesterday I was talking to Ashish Hemrajani of Book My Show, and they're coming up with very interesting things, but he had a very good observation. So he said that, you can come up with TikToks of the world and a lot of other platforms, but in India, figuring out, you can launch many things, but figuring out monetization is going to be interesting, and how it plays out in a country like India. And I think BCCL is a role model for any business in the country in terms of how to monetize, right? Like, I think it just, and I say with pride that BCCL comes out with something and they figure out how to monetize. How do you see subscription and models? Because today a lot of investments are happening and in content spaces across the world saying that, okay, this one is building subscription. I want to ask you, because you've seen it, so you tell.
See, what typically happens is whenever we talk of monetization, we always look up to the Western world to mimic. Western world is where the products are what I call is cheap, but services are very expensive.
Yeah.
Because of the manpower. India is a very different market. Products are expensive, but services are cheap. Well, like anything, if anything breaks down in India, it's easy for you to call a mechanic who will come and fix it. In abroad, if anything breaks down, you have to replace the machine. It's cheaper than getting somebody to service it.
Yeah.
So therefore, and this is a principle which was well taught by the boss both of us work for, and I still work for him, Mr. Samir Jain. And when he talked about the concept, Indian concept is the thali concept. Abroad, the concept is a la carte. So in a thali concept, so therefore the subscription concept in India is not going to work. So Netflix is great, but the number of subscribers in Netflix, it's extremely marginal.
Yeah.
So, and all the time you cannot say that I'm going to monetize with advertisement.
Yeah.
What did Samir Jain teach us? That when everybody thought that the best way to make money is to increase the cover price. So sorry, I will take a minute to go back to history of emergence of newspapers. And newspapers actually emerged in the country out of a political need, for freedom fighting political need. And if you see, editors were catering to the government policy, 5-year plan, government, prime minister, state. Samir Jain entered the scene in 1985-88. He completely pivoted the business model and changed from catering to the government to catering to the consumers. He pushed the edit page inside, and suddenly it became a offering for the consumers. And when consumers started flocking to this paper, and 91, fortunately, when the economy opened up under Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh, suddenly marketers wanted a platform where they can reach out to the consumers. It was the emergence of the Indian consuming class. And then to remain relevant, we had to create color, which is and what we call youth, which is what we Bombay Times, say Delhi Times, say Page 3. Then we had to invent. We even started a Planet M music store to ensure that we have youth around us. But you should always have the young and exuberance of youth in your organization. So that's how constantly you need to develop your business. So Planet M may not have made money for us, Similarly, cover page doesn't make money for us, but it keeps your audience engaged. So, so the model, Shraddha, there's no fixed formula, and I don't have any magic formula. But the question is, what is the engagement you are able to get? How involved and deep the engagement is, and based on that, your monetization follows. You should have the patience to be able to invest and trust your offerings so that consumers engage, and based on the engagement model, then you monetize. So it is not simple that and it also depends on the mediums, because print has a certain way of engaging, radio has a certain way, television has a certain way, digital has a certain way, the mobile screen has a certain way of engaging, native content, embedded content, what you call the advertisers funded program. And I always say the digital screens are getting smaller and smaller. Human egos are getting bigger and bigger. So therefore, you also need the size, and that size can only offered by out of home. But newspaper also offers you size. A newspaper can enter your bedroom in that size. So it depends on what is the objective, what is the impact, what is the brand need state, what is the marketing CMO trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
But the key message is that you have to engage with the consumer in that environment, in that mood, in that ambience, in that emotion, and all this has to match. And when it matches, you have a solution.
Yeah.
So I'm not a great fan of subscription models, and I largely, therefore, we have to be very careful when we build models. You can't assume huge, and we can see even in television today, because of the TRA guidelines changes and all, how the business is struggling.
Yeah.
Therefore, nothing succeeds like compelling content and curated content, compelling content, and ability to engage with the audience. And then you monetize. If you're providing of value, and if the audience is valuable, then there's some value.
I think everyone watching this will agree, and all of us will agree, that Times of India is a phenomenon. No, it has 188, I don't know how many hundreds of years, but has stayed relevant. In 2020, we are talking in times of COVID-19, and has managed. It's an old brand, but has managed to stay relevant and powerful over the years, again and again and again. So, is there a deliberation that goes on regularly to say that, okay, we have to be on top of the game? Is it a mindset? Is it how do you see, you've been there, your early career to now, you've just been there, you are a product of Times of India. How does that happen? Like,
No, there are a lot of filters of life, Chandra. When you go to campuses, are the youth of the country relating to your offering? That is the first fundamental message you should pick it up. Third is, as an organization, what are the things you are constantly doing and evolving to keep the new generation not only engaged with your product and offering, but with the organization itself? Please understand that new creativity can come only with new HR talent. Are we constantly going to campuses? Are we constantly engaging with the youth? Are they willing to join us? Are we willing to listen to them?
yeah,
And therefore, are we willing to make changes as is being directed by them? Because that is the new need state. So I'm saying, going to the campuses, going to the college, keep engaged with the youth of the country. Keep engaged with the new consumers of the country, and constantly create and pivot your business models and remain relevant and relevant. And constantly do that, what I call the measuring yardstick. Because the moment you start isolating the younger generation, suddenly one fine morning you'll find your business disappear. Therefore, every business we are today, our digital offering is the largest offering. We have managed to create, again, through this partnership model, which I was trying to tell you. Keeping engaged, and what is the today's need state? Whether you want to dine out, there's a dine out model. Whether you want to music, the largest music company, Ghana, and OTT entertainment through MX Player. Similarly, education, Times Pro on the education, providing vocational training. So this is what keeps the evolution and pivoting of the business constant.
Yeah.
What does my platform give me? The platform gives me the ability to fast track anything I want to do. The Bennett platform gives me the ability to fast track. So you leverage the platform and constantly build new platforms and new business models. Keep the youth of the country engaged with your organization as well as your product, service, and ideas.
But I have to address this. Again, I'm just saying for everyone's benefit, I have known you closely, I have worked under you. You are the most disciplined person I know of. Of course, I know today so many people, but sir, you are unbeatable. And I'm going on record to say this. Anywhere you travel in the world, anywhere, you are very disciplined about your exercise, about your routine. I've told this that, I've seen you to behave as you enter the office to a peon, to having a very tough day, but leaving the office with the same smile that you have. So it's not for the effect of this conversation. I've seen you for so many years having this discipline, having this rigor. How do you do that? Like, how do you get this mindset? And what have you done during this COVID time?
No, it's a good question, Shraddha. We all have the same 24 hours a day, right? See, what I define life. What are we? We are nothing but a bundle of energy. I define the human beings as an energy. Now, question is that there are activities which we can do on a daily basis, which generates energy to replenish, which depletes energy. And we are very clear of those. No, nobody needs to read any book or something. When you do an activity, when I talk to a positive, enthusiastic person like you, it replenishes my energy. So that is when I go for my morning run or my morning. Yes, I'm not running now, but I am continuing my walk. If you do your yoga with a group, positive, like-minded group, it replenishes your energy levels. So how we utilize the 24 hours? Because we need fuel. We need fuel to the body. We need food. But we need to fuel our energy fields. Because when we meet people in the physical space, we are actually meeting energy fields. And how positive we are. And how we interact with the sun. I call it the principle of interacting with the sun. Morning sun. You have to interact with the morning sun to replenish your energy. So when you go for a run, any part of the world, because we all travel. I'm talking of pre-COVID and hopefully post-COVID, we'll continue to travel where we travel. And how do you get your quota of energy for the day? You can get it from the sun. And when you go to a new city, how do you embrace the city? I always have this principle that when you consume yogurt of a city, when you consume yogurt, that means the whole the principle that it settles well. Your stomach will well. You'll never get a stomach upset if you consume yogurt of a place. Similarly, when you consume the sun of that place in the morning run, my principle is that you will not fall sick or nothing will disturb you. These are some of the principles I follow. So the question is, there has to be a plan. All plan needs to be adhered with discipline and dedication. I have been an outdoor person, and you know that because I leave home early for my morning run. I have my yoga classes in Bombay gym. But today the yoga classes are on Zoom. I go for a walk in the morning and evening. It's good because it takes me away from the glare of the Zoom calls. I did try staircase climb for some days because I stay on the 32nd floor. There are 48 floors in my building in Bombay. Wow. But then it hurt my knee. So you learn, then it corrected. So it hurt my knee. So then I had to stop it. It didn't suit my knee. So you stop it. Then you resume your walking. Yoga classes are started, as I said. And I also do this high intensity, what we call the boot camp, high intensity interval training. So, but these are all inevitable because otherwise I don't get my energy. Just like we have to have a breakfast, lunch or dinner. Similarly, we have to have a quota for exercises. That's when you get the positivity, and you talked about the smile, you talked about the energy. At 5 o'clock in the evening, the energy of the morning sun still remains with you. And when you hit the bed at night after completing a satisfying day, you fall asleep because you have given your full quota for the day.
Yeah.
So and I also say that we always have lived in the future. We always lived for the future. We always lived future backward. We always thought I'll be happy in the future, so I'll work hard. I will do this. But suddenly the present is before us as a present. It's your present, so it is here and now. and we can actually do things we have planned to do.
Yeah.
The future will never come. Now that the present is here, I hope to make the most of it, because this too shall pass and become the past.
Are you doing anything for the Gen Next kids? Last we remember there was Education Times. Is Times of India making any effort to engage with kids?
No, what we call newspaper and education had its place in its time and place. Today, the next gen kids want to engage in the digital space. So therefore, our offerings will be like Grade Up is an investment we have made from the digital companies. So the approach is very, very, very different. Yes, newspaper continues to do those things, but as the audience interest keeps on shifting, our investment also keeps on shifting. Our focus keeps on shifting. And I said it is all now being done by the Times Internet Limited, which is our digital initiative, through the partnership models.
I have to ask you this, is that print, TV, digital, and Times of India operates in all. I represent the digital world, and everyone who will be here is in some way or the other representing digital world. All three will coexist?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it, because every piece, it is not that one versus other. Every medium has its place, space. As I said, no, just like at a price point, everybody consumes soap.
Yeah.
But there are different kinds of soap. So I'm giving a small example. There are a lot of restaurants. There are different price points. Like coffee, you consume. You can consume, and last time I met you, I still remember, was in Bangalore when you took me to Starbucks for the coffee. Yeah. Starbucks is not about coffee. Udupi is not about coffee. It's about the experiences.
Yeah.
Therefore, each media platform is about an experience.
Yeah.
What is the kind of experience each media platform is giving, and what is, again, your mode? See, for example, if you are working the full day, or if you are working on the mobile phone, or you're consuming something, beyond a point you want to change. You will want to refresh yourself. Then you want to move. Today we have done the survey, and Shraddha, we were very surprisingly found that the 53% is the growth in time spent on a newspaper, because people want to change from the digital screen and digital de-addiction, as we call it. So that half an hour, 45 minutes to the rising sun, to the morning tea, you want to spend with the morning newspaper without any digital addiction, because anyway, you have to go back to your table and look at the computer screen for the rest of the day.
Interesting. Wow.
So therefore, every medium will exist, but provided you continue to create and give value in changing times. The moment you stop and take the consumer for granted, it will collapse like a pack of cards. You have to constantly reinvent yourself, reimagine yourself, and with the changing times, you have to always listen to the voice of consumer, which is never loud noise. It is the faint discerning signal. You have to pick up the faint signal.
Wow.
Because noise always confuses you. You have to pick up the faint signal. And if you don't have the patience to pick up the faint signal, you will miss the main point.
So we are not missing any of the points that you have told and shared with us. Thank you so much. Great honor. And I'm also taking from you that anyone, entrepreneurs, businesses who have interesting things, they can and they should look at partnering with Times of India, and you will be open to talk to companies.
Absolutely, Shraddha, because as I said, what we have built is a platform across all, and we have several offerings. And if we can fast track anyone, absolutely, we are the place, and we are very happy to have those conversations.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for facilitating this, and all the very best to you, and compliments to you for the great work you're doing. I do admire you for the work you're doing, and keep up the good work, and all the very best to you.
Sir, I had a good mentor, first boss. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.